But Giovanna, at one point in time, it was real unusual. The vehicle stopped, the driver got out, that woman was taken into custody, and then another woman hopped in this vehicle, and the pursuit continued.
Interesting, Scott. And just to be clear for our viewers, we are following this white SUV. It looks, do you know what model car? Maybe a Mercedes, maybe not. But this is a vehicle that the police are tracking, and this started in Costa Mesa.
Yeah, that's correct. The vehicle comes back stolen. Costa Mesa PD was on it for a while, then it got onto the freeway. CHP was the primary for a while in South LA. The Sheriff's Department was on it. They take it back over to CHP, and CHP decided to back off with the patrol cars. There's no patrol cars behind the vehicle at this point in time, just an LA County Sheriff's helicopter overhead. The windows are tinted. It's an Audi Q5, once again came back as stolen. And at one point, eventually the 105 westbound is just going to come to a stop at the shoreline. We're basically just south of LAX right now. As we open up a little bit and give you a little perspective, you can see the runway there, you can see the airplanes, and we're just on the south side of LAX. Now, it's certainly challenging for us if the car goes northbound and crosses, say, on Sepulveda, if it had that chance, and went underneath the runways, we'd have a hard time following it. If it goes to the shoreline, we can take the shoreline route low level, and that's not a problem. But it looks like at this point in time, they're doing a U-turn on the 105 freeway, and basically now we're headed back eastbound. Looks like at least this individual slowed enough to make that turn, Giovanna, in a safe manner. So we haven't seen an extremely dangerous pursuit as of yet. But you know what happens a lot of times in these types of situations? The driver gets desperate, and as time goes on, we see more aggressive driving, and that's when these things get extremely dangerous.
You mentioned that one of the driver, or the first driver, stepped out of the car and was arrested. So I wonder if we can assume that we know the identity of this second driver, and perhaps they're trying to contact them or making contact, because I don't see, as you mentioned, there are no law enforcement patrol cars behind it.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. I mean, they have one person in custody. They obviously know that person who's taken into custody, knows who's with them. I mean, you know, you got to be careful not to speculate too much. I mean, it's possible they didn't, but more than likely. And whether or not they're telling police who that individual is another story. Because the vehicle is stolen, it's not going to do them a lot of good to run the plates to really come back and try and get any information on the suspect. Now, we believe there's only one person in there, the driver, and that's a female. That's the information that we have. But when you have a vehicle that is blacked out like that on the windows, it can be really hard to tell for sure that maybe there's not somebody in the back seat or there's not someone else in that vehicle. But those windows are tinted extremely darkly. That's not legal. That's a great shot. You see the LA County Sheriff's helicopter overhead. You can tint your windows to the passengers and behind that, but you can't tint the windows on the side or in the front of your vehicle for obvious reasons. You got to be able to see at night, and also law enforcement wants to be able to see inside the vehicle for their own safety. So we're on the 105 freeway headed eastbound, and it appears this is a transition to the 405 north. And as I mentioned earlier, that makes it a little tricky for us, because now we have to try and make a decision. We lost them there for a moment. I'm not certain. We have to make a decision on how we're going to continue to follow this, because we can't take the 405 freeway north. That would cross right in front of and right through the approach course to LAX, and that will not happen. So at least for the moment, it looks like we may have lost the vehicle. If we pick up the sheriff's helicopter, and it's interesting, it looks like the sheriff's helicopter may have lost him for a moment as well. Is that the vehicle? I don't believe so. So sometimes these things get tricky, Giovanna. You get into an area where there's a tunnel, and that area right there, we thought they were going to go on the 405 north. You see a patrol car there getting on the 405 south. The vehicle may have stopped underneath that, or inside that tunnel. We're not sure.
Was that the sheriff's helicopter or the LAPD
Yes.
helicopter that sort of went south just a minute ago?
They're orbiting. We understand they're on the freeway. Did you hear north or south? That'll help us. We're trying to acquire. Okay, so to the right, Marcel. So at exit 45, that's got to be the next exit, probably El Segundo. So the vehicle is going to be right in this area, Giovanna, but it can be extremely difficult to pick them up once they go through a tunnel and you lose them for a moment. It looks like even the sheriff's helicopter went and lost on Imperial Highway now, I understand?
Yeah, he's calling it
It sounds like the vehicle's at Imperial Highway. So, Giovanna, it gets crazy because we get these radio calls. Oh, no, the vehicle's on the 405 South.
405 South.
And then we believe if we found them, and we believe there it is. Now, what happened was they stopped in that tunnel. and they fooled everybody for a moment, but now we have reacquired, and this, I believe, is going to be the 405 freeway. Jay, give me a moment. Give me a moment. This is going to be the transition to the 405 freeway northbound, if I'm not mistaken. So there for a minute it got chaotic, Giovanna. It can be difficult to track these sometimes. And as I mentioned earlier, now open up and give me a wide shot. Obviously not enough to lose it. But LAX is off to your left. That's the 405 north, and we can't fly northbound. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go up to Sepulveda. We got to climb to 2,500 feet, and we're going to cross over the runways and try and keep the vehicle in sight. There's a lot of heavy traffic on the 405. Is that not the vehicle?
It doesn't look like the same vehicle to me because this one had a sunroof.
Interesting.
But
okay,
I may not have noticed it in the previous vehicle. But what we do know, Scott, is that this started in Costa Mesa. It came back a stolen car as you try to locate the car, and we're looking at the interchange of the freeway there. And we understand it was driving at high speeds and some dangerous maneuvers and seemingly desperate to get away and avoid law enforcement. We have not seen law enforcement on the tail of this vehicle, but of course we're continuing to follow it and trying to find it. Scott, any luck yet?
We think it's right in here. That's the 405 freeway at Century. That's the last radio call we heard from the helicopter. 405 northbound at Century, and as I mentioned, it gets tough for us to track it. When they don't have a patrol car behind a white SUV, there are so many white SUVs, it gets really chaotic and difficult to track. So we know the vehicle's right in this area, and I think what we have to do is what I mentioned earlier. We need to try and cross. I'll get radio calls if the suspect gets off the 405. But we're going to climb, and we're going to cross right over top of LAX. We have to climb to 2,500 feet to do that. They'll give us a cross on Sepulveda, and then we'll be on the north side of the airport, and we should be able to track that vehicle coming at us. But as you can tell, now even the LA County Sheriff's helicopter cannot fly on the 405 northbound. There's just too many aircrafts coming in, landing at LAX, and they're landing towards the water. They're landing to the west. So that's the approach course. You may see an airplane fly right through there, and they just can't let the LA County Sheriff's helicopter fly through there. They have separation issues with aircrafts and helicopters, and right now with the suspect heading northbound, they didn't have any patrol cars right behind them, and because of that, whenever you get a chance, it's cross northbound, and because of that, they've lost them for the moment, and we have as well. It's so much easier to track, Giovanna, when there are multiple patrol cars right behind the vehicle.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it is a difficult situation. You know, the downside is there are a lot of cars on the road. The upside is that there are a lot of cars on the road because hopefully it will slow this this person down. But this is what we're talking about, what you were talking about, Scott, being right over the LAX flight pathway and how difficult it is to follow pursuits in these situations and in this area in particular.
It's nearly impossible to get away from a helicopter, but the helicopter can't fly here. And so this is one stretch of the freeway that you cannot have a patrol helicopter overhead. From time to time, if there's enough separation from the planes coming in, they'll let the helicopter, the LA County Sheriff's helicopter or law enforcement helicopter through. But this time of day, there's usually a lot of flights coming in. It's a little hazy. There's, visibility issues, and more than likely, they're not going to give them the cross. Now, we're getting 405 north at Manchester, so that shows us exactly where Manchester is. The sky map is so darn effective. It's such a great tool for us. So it's right in here somewhere, Giovanna. Maybe that's it. It doesn't look like it.
That's
that Mercedes that we saw that fooled us earlier, but it's right in this area.
Right, and again, you can't, you're not seeing the LAPD chopper because of the same situation the same restrictions you're under.
Yeah, it's a CHP primary on this. LAPD is backed off. The county helicopter could not, it's behind a white tractor trailer in the right lane, if I'm not mistaken. So we're getting bits and pieces of information and trying to piece it together so that we can acquire. So now bring up, that's La Cienega right there, I believe, Marcel? Yeah. And so we can come off that at La Cienega, come off that and push in and see if we can find them. There's the white trailer, possibly the right semi.
And Scott, while you are looking, I want to welcome our viewers. I'm Giovanna Lotta. This is Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. We have been following a pursuit underway in the LA area, the West LA area. This is the 405 northbound. Scott Reif is in Air 7 over it. We had a visual of that vehicle. It was a white SUV, reported stolen from Costa Mesa. And at some point, the initial driver in that pursuit, exited the car and was arrested. But then another woman reportedly jumped into the driver's side and then continued the pursuit. So we're trying to figure all of this out as Scott Reif is trying to once again locate that car. Any luck?
Yeah, Giovanna, I don't know if you just threw it to me. We're having a little bit of an issue with the IFB as well. And sometimes we go through locations where it's hard to hear. But, boy, that vehicle's got to be right in here somewhere. There's a Mercedes that has fooled us so many times and looked exactly like the vehicle. You see there a white SUV, but that's not it. Just crossing underneath La Tijera, which would be back to the right, no more so. Next to a white tractor trailer. Take SkyMap off, if you would, for a second. And center lane behind a white tractor trailer is the information we're getting. I think it's got to be La Tijera was back there. So it's got to be, boy, it's got to be right in here somewhere. Maybe that's the white tractor trailer there. It's still behind it, Jay, as far as you know, for the information you have? So, Giovanna, we're getting bits and pieces from the Sheriff's Department, and since they don't have a helicopter directly overhead, they're not getting the exact information, and then when it gets to us, you know, it's like telephone. Well, we're really trying to piece it together as best we can and find this. But what's interesting about this pursuit, and we will find this vehicle here in a minute, is that there was a stolen vehicle out of Costa Mesa. There were two females in it, from what we understand. At some point in time in the Lakewood area, the driver got out, was taken into custody, then the passenger jumped into the car and took off, and the pursuit's been ongoing since that time. That's a 405 freeway, and I think that is the 90 freeway interchange, if I'm not mistaken, and that vehicle's got to be right in here somewhere. You know, Giovanna, it's a difficult find from time to time.
No, it's tough. There are a lot of cars out there, and as you pointed out very accurately, there are so many white cars on the road these days. It's a popular color, lots of white SUVs.
Is that it right there? To the left?
It's like finding a needle in a haystack, right, really. Because as you also pointed out earlier, there are no patrol cars following this vehicle. That could be it. Now that.
No, I don't think so. I think that's that Mercedes. It keeps fooling us, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
yeah, it looks just like it.
Yeah, but that one doesn't have a sunroof.
Far right lane, so that wasn't it. Yeah, it looked just like it, but there's some curved lines on the Q5 on the side of that Audi, and that should give it away when we get in tight. Now, there's a patrol car there on the shoulder. Once the vehicle crosses here, hopefully that'll give us a little heads up, and the patrol car will start to follow. But we understand it's in the right lane. Open up a little, Marcel, right there, and we'll just see if we can keep an eye on the same spot and then pick up that white Audi SUV. That is not it either. That looks like a Lexus possibly. But boy, we know we're in the ballpark, and it should come through this area at any moment.
All right, Scott, we're going to let you continue to try to find this vehicle, and we're going to move on and check with you a little bit later in this newscast. Right now, we want to bring you a story about the largest illegal fireworks bust in California history. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia is live in Gardena, and he has more details for us. Sid.
Lieutenant Christopher Cuff with Gardena PD giving us an update. But let's go ahead and show you what happened over the weekend. This bust happened early Saturday morning. The major bust happened as Gardena police, along with CAL FIRE and other agencies, went to this commercial property on the 17,000 block of Vermont Avenue, about a mile and a half from police headquarters. 3 people were taken into custody after the bust here. 75 tons, or approximately 150,000 pounds of illegal fireworks were confiscated, this making it one of the largest, or the largest bust in California state history. The previous record was 32 tons. The LA County District Attorney's Office is sorting out what charges will be filed against the 3 people in custody: Alejandro Rodriguez and Daniel Gudino of Wilmington and Natalie Navarro of Carson. They were arrested and booked for possession of explosives and a number of weapons charges as well. According to those involved in the bust, the street value of the fireworks confiscated early Saturday morning estimated to be between $7 to $10 million. Fireworks were discovered in a commercial building, as I said, on the 17,000 block of Vermont Avenue here in Gardena. Now, the lieutenant is giving us some other details. We'll have that in later editions of Eyewitness News, but for now, the largest fireworks bust in California history happened here in Gardena in an industrial section. 75 tons or 150,000 pounds of illegal fireworks confiscated, 3 people in custody. Live in Gardena, I'm Sid Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Sid, thank you for that. And we want to check in with Scott Reif once again. He's in Air 7 following this pursuit that's underway on the 405 northbound. And is this the vehicle?
It is the vehicle. It took a turn for the worse, too, because CHP decided to engage. And as soon as the driver saw the CHP unit behind them, they took off and really accelerated, driving erratically now, swerving in and out of traffic on the 405 North, coming up on Culver Boulevard. We're in Culver City, and you can see now it's so erratic, it's extremely dangerous on the freeway. So open up a little bit, Marcelo. The patrol car is still behind this vehicle. That patrol car is. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Is that a CHP motor unit there as well? It is. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they back off, because when they backed off, she was not driving this aggressively. Now that she has seen the patrol cars right behind her, she's taking a stance where she's going to do anything to try and get away, driving erratically, swerving in and out of traffic, and really causing a lot of risk for the general public.
Yeah, you can definitely see that she's flying past the other vehicles and exiting here. This is Tuller Avenue and Washington Place. Is that correct? Sepulveda Boulevard?
Yeah, it's Washington. It's a Washington Sepulveda Boulevard off ramp into oncoming traffic, into the intersection, making a left turn onto Sepulveda Boulevard, and that gives you an idea now. Unfortunately, that this individual, we believe it's a woman, is now actually getting very desperate, driving erratically, driving extremely dangerously. Can we bring up our speed map tracking? I'd like to get a speed on this vehicle if possible. So we're looking at 80, 90 miles an hour on Sepulveda Northbound in Culver City, and it's extremely dangerous here into oncoming traffic at one point in time. And Giovanna, it was a calm, slow speed pursuit until the units got right behind this vehicle. I don't see any units behind it now. It wouldn't surprise me if they just go into tracking mode. Look at that, into oncoming traffic. You know, that's the kind of situation where somebody can get hurt or even killed. And in just a split second, somebody makes a wrong turn, doesn't see that vehicle coming at 80 miles an hour, goes into oncoming traffic, and then all of a sudden you've got something extremely treacherous here, dangerous. We do understand they're taking that strategy. They're canceling the ground units. Once this is off the freeway, this is going to be LAPD's jurisdiction. More than likely, LAPD is not going to get involved on this thing on a ground pursuit on the patrol cars behind it. But you never know, Giovanna. It's really hard for us to gauge exactly what the strategy will be in these different jurisdictions. But considering when they backed off, she started to drive much more calmly. And when they did engage, she started to drive this erratically. I think they'll probably just take the strategy of having the helicopter follow and stay in surveillance mode. But even though they're not behind her, she's still driving at an extremely high rate of speed and dangerously. Yeah,
she definitely is. She's weaving in and out of lanes and going the wrong way, as we saw just there. She's done that several times. And Sepulveda is a busy roadway. A lot of cars on Sepulveda, especially at this time of the day. And, you know, there are schools in this area, too, which is something to be concerned about. Yeah, we never like to see this. We never like to see anyone drive recklessly, but these pursuit drivers can become desperate, as you mentioned, to get away from authorities. It is a smart strategy to pull back, and hopefully the driver will calm down and maybe drive a little more safely. Did we lose her?
Well, we may have. Certainly, it's the safest strategy. There we go. Good job, Marcel. So they got off there on Pico for a moment and then turned northbound on Cotner. So we're in the West LA area, not far from Santa Monica, and you can see, at least for now, she's driving less erratically. She's not running through stop signs and red lights and into oncoming traffic. And they did go with that strategy that really seems like the best bet and the safest, and that is to just follow along with the helicopter and not get the patrol cars behind her. But we're coming up on the intersection of Olympic, and I believe that's Sepulveda on the right side of your screen, if I'm not mistaken. There's a patrol car, and behind the building we had lost the vehicle for a moment. I don't think that's it. That's not it, I don't believe. I don't believe that's it, Marcel. When she saw that patrol car, she may have turned around. And so we're still waiting to see if she comes out. We lost her behind that building for a moment.
Did we see her make a right turn? Because I believe
I did not.
Cotner continues beyond that street. Is that Santa Monica Boulevard? Yeah.
Well, that's Sepulveda. There's the 405 freeway. That's Sepulveda that parallels it. That's Cotner right there that she was on for a moment. She could have continued. We just don't know if we lost her behind the building right there. So that's what we're going to have to try and figure out as we push northbound here. We can a strategy for us sometimes is to look out for the. Okay, it looks like we're hearing back on the 405 northbound. So I don't see the air unit overhead. And to back off with the air unit is a little unusual, whether they're going to throw another air unit on this or not. But one of the things that always helps us to keep the suspect in custody or in sight. Go ahead.
That may be it, Scott. We're going to let you continue to follow this. Is this the vehicle? But we're going to let you.
I don't believe so.
Follow it, and we'll check back with you. We'll check back with you in a little bit. Still to come, someone really doesn't like Elon Musk. We'll show you what they did to dozens of Cybertrucks. That's coming up. But first, a warning if you own a Toyota Tacoma, the new crime trend police are tracking in Orange County. And check your freezers. There's an ice cream recall, and it's not just one product, but several brands affected. And there's a new list of best places to buy a home in California. The places may surprise you.
That's it right there. That's it right there, right in the middle of the intersection. That's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm almost positive. No, that's Sepulveda. But that's got to be the vehicle. Looks just like it. That's it. That's not Olympic. All right, let's go further. Let's follow it. Open up out of your shot so I can see it out my window for a sec.
Yeah, there it is, southbound Sunset.
This is it. Yeah. Okay. Open up out of your. So I just want to see it outside. Okay, I got it now. Could you give me a pedal turn to the right, please? Hold it right here and give me a right pedal turn. More of a right pedal turn. I just want to see it out my window. Can we go any further to the west? Okay. Let's go south then, go towards Fox. And when you go around Fox, then I want you to go west and get over the 405 freeway. Okay. Is that an on-ramp to the 405? There it is.
So they're saying that this was a follow home robbery from a bank.
In Costa Mesa.
Yes.
Okay, Marcel's giving me some info. He picked up it was a follow home robbery. Did they rob the person and then take their vehicle?
Stole the vehicle from a bank.
Okay, good. Marcel, could you say again?
They followed them home from a bank and stole the car.
Interesting. Okay. They're on Satel. Can you get me to the other side so it's out my window? Very good. Keep going this way a little bit. Slow it down. There you go. Now just slowly due south. And just keep up with them. So I'll just give you a little hand signals to go, and back and forth. We'll be all set. 579, what's that?
The last three of the license.
579. Hold on, hold it right here. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Quick stop. Right pedal turn. Right pedal turn. Hold it right here. Slowly. All right, very good. This is LAPD jurisdiction all the way to the marina, right? No other agencies, yeah. She's still on, you making a turn here? Or lost some, oh, it's going south. Okay, let's go this way. No, change his mind. Her mind. Stop. Got to go north a little, or it'll go around into this. It's good right here. Up, turn it. Turn around. Back southbound. Now back this way. Push the nose there. Get some speed up. Tuck in a little tighter. Well, we have a little additional information now. We're trying to piece this together, so, take this with a grain of salt. But it appears initially this started as a follow-home robbery. May have followed someone home from the bank, tried to rob them, and then stole the vehicle in Costa Mesa around 10 o'clock this morning. So this is the type of suspect. There was two females that they're really not going to let go. They're going to continue this pursuit. They're going to surveil them, and these are the type of individuals. It's not a traffic violation. It came back stolen. That's bad enough. But follow-home robbery, robbery type situation. They're certainly going to take this extremely seriously. Now, we're coming up into the Marina Del Rey area, the Mar Vista area, southbound on Inglewood Boulevard, headed down towards the 90. This is an LAPD jurisdiction area. We'd lost the vehicle several times because it'd gone through a tunnel. It was in the airspace. It's at LAX. Been an extremely difficult pursuit to follow. At one point in time, we understand there were 2 females in the vehicle. The driver got out, stopped in the Lakewood area. She was taken into custody. Then that time the passenger, also a female, supposedly, reportedly, jumped into the vehicle and took off. So now we're seeing the suspect stop right underneath the 90 freeway on Inglewood Boulevard. And this is a type of situation when you don't have a patrol car right behind the individual, they can get out and make a run for it. So the helicopter overhead right now, look at that, they're going around in circles. So a lot of times, Giovanna, that's a procedure to turn around and see if anybody is still right behind them. And it looks like that's exactly what we saw from the suspect. They got in that tunnel or underneath that overcrossing and turned around. Yeah, 2 identical SUVs. So we'd followed one, it wasn't the right one, yeah. Yeah. Southbound, Inglewood Boulevard, already crossed the 90. So we're headed down, once again, towards the LAX area, if you will. The Marina Del Rey area. Correct. And if they continue south, there's not, too much more of an area to go to where you'll angle around if you make continue south through this intersection. But then you'll head back down toward La Cienega and the 405 freeway once again. We'll have to see, but there are no patrol cars behind the suspect. And one of the reasons, if you were with us earlier, is because, once they did get a unit behind this vehicle, she took off. She was driving erratically and extremely dangerously for the public, and they decided to just keep the helicopter overhead, which really seems like the best strategy in a situation like this. But as I mentioned, Giovanna, this is not the type of individual I believe that they're just going to let go and pick up later. I think they're going to follow this as long as they can. But this is going to get complicated once again if the suspect continues to go towards the 405 and gets on the 405 south, because once again we'll have some airspace issues with LAX. Yeah, I want to be really careful about saying that for certain, because, these things can happen in real time, but we did get some information, we believe, overheard from the law enforcement agency, that this started as a possible follow-home robbery where they followed someone home from the bank. Whether they were robbed or not, I'm not certain, but then they stole the vehicle. That's the information we have right now. It's not completely confirmed. I think it's fairly accurate. I've done this long enough, though, to know that, sometimes you get bits and pieces and it's not all absolutely correct. But that's what we believe at this point in time. That is correct. That is correct. Loyola Marymount is right around the corner, and Jefferson will run you to Lincoln, and then from there you could take it all the way to PCH. You could take it all the way to the shoreline. It looked up. There we go. So back to the east, and what I've seen in a couple instances with this suspect, they've made a turn, and it appears that they're making the turn. I mean, who knows for sure, right? But it appears in some instances just to check to see if law enforcement is right behind them. The helicopter is overhead. The LA County Sheriff's helicopter is making orbits. Whether or not the suspect can see the helicopter, most of the time they stay behind them. That's unclear. They can't see us, especially through those dark windows, and you can see how far behind and high we are, because we have separation issues. We need to be above law enforcement, and so because of that, okay, there's a CHP motor unit, and Marcel could hear the transmission. He monitors the scanner. So fantastic at doing that. And the motor unit was told not to engage. So that gives us an idea how they're treating this. They're not going to engage her. Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, and thank goodness, because, I mean, on the freeway there, we were seeing, on Sepulveda Boulevard, we had speeds right up to 90 miles an hour. So Sepulveda Boulevard has a lot of travel. The speed limit on Sepulveda is probably 45. I haven't driven it in quite some time to that area of like Culver City. but to be doing twice the speed limit and then to drive into oncoming traffic, boy, for a moment there she got extremely desperate. And I think that that's what they're trying to avoid, because they just, they want to get this woman into custody. We believe it's a female, once again. They want to get her into custody, but they certainly don't want to see anybody get hurt. And the safest way, it appears, to do that right now is to back off and just surveil from the air. But open up a little wide for a moment, Marcel. I want to show you the helicopter overhead, Giovanna. There's the LA County Sheriff's helicopter. And up ahead is the 405 freeway, and that goes southbound, and that puts us back into LAX's airspace, and you know how difficult that makes it for us.
We have CHP stage freeway on that.
Okay. Call for a cross. Keep the nose pointed that way, please. Just keep climbing now. All right, slowly south. Like making a little, no, thinking about it. On a red light there. Yeah, I know, it wouldn't surprise me. So just slow it up, slow it up. That's the street we're following, so. And we need to be tight because there's a lot of trees. They're west. And looks like once again a U-turn, huh? Go a little further that way if we can. Okay. What is this? Sepulveda's on? Yeah. She? Sheriff's got to come up to 25. Boy, so many vehicles looked exactly like that one.
Yeah, that's right. License plate.
Yeah, and that sunroof helps. Gonna slow down and make a run for it here or something? Open up a little bit. Why are they slowing? Is there a car in front of them? No. Are we on Sepulveda? Or is this? I know you keep calling her E. It's so hard. Yeah, we're pretty good. We're 45. Open up for a second so I can find the vehicle. That's Sepulveda right there. All right, I got it. Yep, I got it. Yeah, it's good. Are they talking? No. Careful this thing doesn't get right underneath us here. Oh, that was close. Don't hit the bus. That would hurt. I don't know. 20 minutes. I'll let you know. Well, we've been on this street 3 times now. And we turned around and gone round and round 3 times now. Okay. So there was an armed robbery, though. That's they're in suspect. Interesting. Okay. I mean, you can always send in somebody to relieve them if they want to keep them, but keep her at sight. They're not interested anymore. Maybe we could come out of the break and update this thing, Jay. I don't know if they're interested in that. We don't have to stay on it, but okay. Might be worth 1 minute update. I understand that the armed robbery suspect was the initial driver, and they've been taken into custody, supposedly. Yeah, Jay, why don't you get news copter going just in case we start to get a little low on fuel? Maybe.
There, it's immediate. Got him live while we're on the 405.
The helicopter back off already? Sheriff's helicopter depart?
I think he's still there.
Crossed the 405 yet? Past the 405? Tailgates or bumpers? Oh, yeah, no kidding. I wonder about that, huh? Try the pit maneuver. That LA Sheriff or LAPD? Sheriff still. Oh, I can turn around again. Come on. Oh, that is, man. They're following him.
He's in pursuit. What the?
Interesting. They're going to turn around and go back the other way and see. Was that person trying to follow me? That's exactly what they're doing. They want to see if that van's trying to follow them.
He's letting me go into the Bravo at 900.
Yeah, why not? What, they just turned south? That changes everything because you're not going to be able to go south. So going down to 9, we'll have to take the 110 south. I doubt they're going to let you go south here. I got the sheriff's helicopter go south. Well, for now, let's see, you know. Oh, there's a patrol car behind them, right? At some point, we're going to have to go east of the 110 and go south, I guess. They turn around and come back towards us.
I can get to a plus when I'm watching grass grow.
Where's the newscopter? I can tell them to go south 110, I guess. Oh, I thought I heard them launch 5 ago.
They're launching on top of the shadow. Hey, Chad, myself,
We're going to roll, I guess, go around the south side, try and pick them up, go to south 110.
South 110. He's in the Bravo, Crenshaw, going south.
Well, let's see if what she does here. She continues down to the 105, but make a decision on if she gets on the 105 east or westbound, I guess.
Transmission, give me 1 second.
All right, let's go back to the west, cross over 25. LAX, see if we can catch a vehicle coming at us. Anybody over him? Yeah, they're headed for fuel. I don't even know. They could have. The vehicle went down Crenshaw. We couldn't follow it, so we followed them as well as we could with the camera. Thought the vehicle got on the 105 west, so now we're headed west, like towards LAX. But we couldn't go south on Crenshaw. We've lost them. Sheriff's helicopter. I think they bugged out. They're low on fuel. Yeah, we've lost the vehicle. And without that vehicle overhead, we're not going to get any updates, so we don't even know if they're still on the 105. That's not it. All right, Ken, Steph? Oh, thank you. Yeah, Marcel was doing a great job. It was just a tricky one. He says thank you. Bye-bye. Talk to you tomorrow. Is that it? Wow. Good one. Round and round and round we go. Tell Newscopter to come cross midfield if you would. Okay, where he's on the South Harbor. You already called LAX? It is. No, it's him. Her. To her, supposedly. Okay, hold her right here. Tell them, depending on how somewhere they're at. Let me talk to them. Hey, Chad, where are you guys? On the 105, the vehicle's west 105 coming up on Sepulveda. Can hold right here. That'd be it. How much they're like, I don't know, 300 or 400,000. Back on Imperial. Deja vu. Newscopter Air 7. How far west are you guys now? 3 miles from LAX. What do you mean? Are you being Hawthorne? No, the vehicle's on the 105, excuse me, on Imperial Highway, headed eastbound, coming up on Sepulveda Boulevard. So they might be pulling on Sepulveda here, but west of the 405. This is Sepulveda, right? Yeah. Okay, the vehicle is just now stopped at the crosswalk on Imperial Highway, headed eastbound, the number 4 lane. Second from the far right, the white Audi with the black sunroof, and it's all blacked out. All right, copy that. It's all yours. Let's get out of here. Banner. Yeah, copy that. We handed it off. We're headed back. Copy.